please. Ha ha ha.
Holy smokes, it's just another episode of Wayne's World and Kelly. And one thing I learned is if I'm going to point to Wayne, I point this way, even though on my screen, it's the other way. So, hey, good to hear you, brother. So, before the show, Wayne and I always chat for a minute. And we were talking about when we leave our respective meetings. A lot of times when I go to a meeting with a client, it's James LeGrec and I, my business partner, and sometimes George Strom. And when we leave, we say our, nice, hey, see you later, nice meeting you, next steps, yada, yada, yada. And then we get in our vehicles. Of course, James and I drive Volvo, sponsors of our show. Audi, they haven't asked to sponsor us yet, and that's what George drives. But and we got Mr. Mazda boy over here. So
no, Cadillac. Cadillac.
You got a Cadillac and a Mazda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, excuse me. Cadillac.
That's okay. Well, you brought up the kind of hoity-toity, brand reference that remember Sam Walton drove a pickup, but you, son, are no Sam Walton.
Okay, so let's discuss that for a second. We're just going to free ball it here for 25 minutes.
Go ahead.
So I can't believe I just used that term.
Yeah, well, whatever. Remember, it's unfiltered.
Oh no, I just pointed out even more. Anyway, Sam Walton has a great PR team. For years, I would go in vacation. I'd go see my sister out in Orange County, California. And there's this magnificent house on top of a cliff. And you'd walk underneath it and I'd walk by and I'm sure a lot of people would go, gee, I wonder who lives in that place. That's incredible. Sam Walton's house, one of a dozen houses he owns. That guy doesn't ride. He has that pickup truck, but he's riding in limos, helicopters, and jets. Okay. So let's cut with the Sam Walton. I drove a pickup truck. I'm a good old boy. Come on. That guy, he might be the devil. But I tell you one thing, he isn't. He definitely isn't this good hokey pokey dude as Mr. Gall shucks and drives a pickup truck.
How about Bruce Springsteen? So what's your image of him when you think of him, like most people would think of him?
He came to Manassas, Virginia, and got gasoline, filled up his car with gas. I think the word was he was driving a Corvette. I don't know if that was true or not. This was decades ago, and people are still talking about it.
Wow, slow news day there. So, but don't you think about...
Hey, wait, we're the home of the Bobbitts. Manassas, Virginia. So don't tell me we had slow news.
Well,
right?
I mean,
first,
you're right.
Second battle of Manassas, and then the third battle, of course, was the Bobbitts. But I'm just saying I'm trying to be very nice about everybody, except for Walton. I guess I wasn't really nice about him. But I'm not a big Springsteen fan. So, but I thought. Well,
I'm just saying. Yeah, it's cool. There's a celebrity sighting, this, that, and the other thing, but. I think his appeal always been is, a man of the people, the working folks and everything. And when, you had referenced the greater Los Angeles area and big houses and people's persona. I actually drove by Bruce Springsteen's, I think it was maybe his 50, 60, 70 acre ranch in Rancho Palos Verdes horse farm, which is one of the most expensive zip codes in the United States. Again, how someone is perceived versus how someone really is. They want to be looked at as the working man's hero, but they're really not. One drives a pickup and then he steps into the limo. Who cares?
Right.
It's just funny.
That's what I liked about White Snake. Remember White Snake?
What you're talking about when his girlfriend went on the hood of the car? Of course I remember David Coverdale. That was a soundtrack to my college. I'm going to slide it in, right? What? Go ahead. You started it. Free balling.
Listen.
Oh, what?
Connie Katane. Connie Katane was one of the most beautiful women on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
And she was she was part of the White Snake image. He was actually married to her for a couple of years. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, he was.
But
I know my White Snake. Yes, I do.
But they never tried to act like they were like these struggling rock and rollers, man. They were like we're very successful and we're gonna let you know it. I like that about them. I thought I like.
I agree.
Real. And I've got friends that have become very, very successful. Ken Ryder, who owns several Planet Fitnesses. Ken Ryder, I've known him since high school. Super nice guy, big guy, right? He got big in high school and became a power lifter. He's one of the strongest guys in the world. Always nice to everybody. In business for decades, has a wonderful wife, and suddenly Planet Fitness, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got all these Planet Fitness. This guy's starting to stack away his money. Let me tell you how much that guy changed. This much. He's still one of the nicest, most generous, good guys on the planet. I ran into him last summer when I was up north. So, and then you got the other ones that aren't like that. Now what Ken drives today, I mean, Ken's huge. I mean, he's a big guy, right? He had like a Ford Festiva back in the 80s.
Come on, dude.
He did. I mean, he got out and it looked like a cartoon, But he also plays music with some other guys, and they're fantastic. And people go, oh, there's a struggling artist. And he's not a struggling artist, but he's a guy he's passionate about music. He's passionate about his wife, his business, his family, and his friends. And he's on his friend list on Facebook. They're all friends, So, wow, that was a great advertisement for our new sponsor today, Planet Fitness. But no, Ken really, he's a great example of a guy that, doesn't put on any airs about himself. And no, he's shown a picture or two of him on Facebook where he's hopping on a private jet. And I'm like, go Ken.
Good.
Yeah. But he's not sitting there going, I'm still driving the pickup truck I had back when I had a World Gym, Dadgummit. I'm worth billions of dollars, but I'm pretending like I drive a pickup truck because I got a PR team that makes me think that. I don't even know how Warren Buffett talks. Was that a good invitation of Warren Buffett?
No, he has that kind of flat Midwestern accent that I still have from living in Wisconsin, Minnesota my whole life. I mean, yeah, he's obviously from Omaha, so he talks about as plain as I do. I don't know.
I bet you he's ruthless as hell back in the office.
Well, really, really good. If you ever really want to read a great business book, Buffett is really good, or Warren Buffett or whatever it's called. Another fantastic book about his rise and what he has built business wise. He's in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah, not me.
Not you. Okay.
I do have Geico Insurance, which is another one of today's sponsors. And he basically Buffett's and owns Geico.
Yes, he does.
Geico's an acronym?
I think I did know that. What does it stand for?
Government Employees Insurance Company. And basically, we're all employees of the government with the way the tax base is these days.
Oh, I mean, absolutely, of course, and it's going to keep on. I mean, like we've said, both you and I and everybody listening better work harder because there's a lot of people depending on you.
Right. Between inflation and taxes, it's life's
fun stuff.
I would like to see that change. I'd love to see a flat tax. That's something we never talked about the show. I'd love to see 8% federal income tax on everybody that earns a dime, on no matter how they make it. And,
well, another good
pay off the debt, and then what they don't get, they don't spend. How could you imagine if Congress could learn how to do what we do in our house? We don't have the money.
Yeah. We don't hold them accountable. I mean, I think we're up to 31 trillion right now in the deficit. And really what most people know that ever took an economics 101 class is the only way to get rid of that is you're going to have to inflate it away. So I don't think any of this inflation is really going anywhere because at some point it's got to be addressed.
How many zeros are in a trillion?
I'll say off the top of my head, 29.7.
How many zeros in a trillion? And he put a point on there. 12 zeros. That's
12.
We say trillion like it's now today like it's nothing. Anyway,
it's like walking around money.
I tell you what, we're really putting out some stuff out there. So when we walk out of a meeting, it's always the post meeting conversation. And we know, hey, this is what we said correct. Let's do that again. This one, maybe we should have said it Let's say it a different way. Let's massage it a little bit so it's received a little bit better. And we're always trying to fine tune our craft on how we explain what we do to our, for our clients. We know what we do, but to pass it on to other people to where we're going to be of benefit, all of us in business, we want to convey that the best we can. Some people have an elevator speech. I always say, like at LGC, for if you're into a major renovation, restoration, or beautification project, we'll take you through that project on budget and on time. That's like an elevator speech, but this is far beyond. This is an hour meeting, and how can we really, strip it down? Do you do the same thing after you've met with clients? In your mind, if you're by yourself or with the team, if you're with other people?
No, I mean, constantly. How can we improve? How do we think it went? The one thing I was going to ask you about that though, what's your opinion on when you lose a project? Do you want to find out why? Do you call folks from the board? What do you do when you lose a project? Are you seeking the truth from somebody about why you lost that project?
I'll let you know when it happens. I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
Babe Ruth.
I'm just kidding. Do you mean when we don't get it? Because we're competing against other people?
Correct.
Yeah. I'll ask the question. And I don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable. I know we've got a lot of business going on. We've got plenty of stuff coming down the pipe. But if we did something wrong, I want to know it. Sometimes it's based on price, but I know, and we know James and George and our senior team, we know what it takes for us. We don't have equipment. We don't have very palatial offices. We got 2 offices, but they're conservative. Our biggest asset and our biggest expense is our employees. And so we bring in very seasoned people that are just expensive. I'm not going to, they've earned their right, and they bring a lot to the table to our clients. And then our next layer is very sharp, younger people that are learning the business, and they're learning from our senior people, and they're working on the projects with them. That costs a lot of money. We could go out there and hire less seasoned people and probably not deliver the goods, not be able to do the project correctly. And if we do that, it can increase our profit margin short term. That whole short term sightedness. Wow, if I could reduce my expense, well, my expenses are my employees. If I get rid of my talented people and bring in people that have less experience, I can make some money for a couple months, but it's not going to work, because people would go, wait a second, you aren't delivering what you told us you were going to deliver. So we walk that line. So usually if I don't win, it's because somebody else charged less money. Why do they charge less money? Because their employees don't cost them as much. That's that. In our game, that's all we got. And if you're delivering a product, if you can mass produce it for less and provide it to the community for less, but also still maintain a profit margin, you can win that way. Or figure out a better way to make the wheel, or whatever it is. For us, it's just talent. Now we train our people very well. James and George and Jen and our leading team, they know their stuff, so they're really good at bringing it to our clients. As is all of my project managers. Does that answer the question pretty well? But if so maybe it's something we said or did or didn't say.
Well, I mean, I don't. Are you going to get the truth? I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. How do you know what someone's truth is? So, I mean, I've had this conversation a lot. And why did we lose? What happened? Was it price? How was the presentation? All these things. So then you'll go to a board member or whoever and ask them, how do you know you're getting the truth? So I guess what I'm getting at is, maybe in the last decade or 12 years or whatever, I don't know. I guess I haven't even asked. You just say, good, we lost. Let's get better. Good. And then figure out a way to get better. I don't know.
You know, we're in this business now, you know, coming up on a year and a half. So we want to know if we're doing something wrong. You know, I know my pricing's right. I know what it takes. It's not rocket science for us to figure out how much are we going to put into this project every month. What's my labor cost? What's my burden? You know, what are my other expenses? Put a little profit margin on there. Boom, we know where we're at. So we know where we need to be. Sometimes, a lot of times they'll come back and they'll tell us without telling us, because they'll say, we really want to work with you guys, but XYZ is got a lower price. What can you do for us? And we're like, give you great service. And if they're price driven, now, you know, we have saved our clients multiples of our fees in the past and currently. So we know we're a good value. We're not a cost, we're a value add. But if we don't convey that to the client, or if they just don't get it, some people just don't get it, you know?
No, you're right. Yeah.
So, but anyway, but I find it all fascinating. I love sales. I love the art of the deal. But as a business owner, I also love making our client happy all the way through by giving them a great service. It's extremely important to all of us. We're all very conscious. I don't know too many people in business that are going, geez, how can I really rip off my client? There's different ways of how they do things. And there are thieves. I mean, I get texts and phone calls every day from people that are trying to rip me off. I'm like going, are there people that really fall for this garbage? You know,
right.
How could you? I don't know how you could do that for a living. I don't want to make a dime off that I don't earn.
Right.
You know,
right.
you know, if LGC, one of today's sponsors, wasn't doing a great job, I don't want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? You know, but we're constantly, we have a owners meeting every Monday, and we spend an hour or more discussing how we can do what we did last week better this week. Work, you know, Kaizen, you know, the Japanese term of always improving. It's in our DNA. And I know that's in your DNA too. So, but I always want to, you know, people aren't going to always tell you the truth, you know, you want to know about this, but let's say, you know, you're dating a girl, and, you know, because, you know, you don't date girls because you're married, to a woman, a lovely woman. You know, if she breaks up with me, you know, she might say to me, blah, 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 but it's not that, you know, there's something else. And if I break up with her, I'm going to be honest, I might not say exactly why I'm doing it, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. So that's always an issue. So like you asked a question, you know, you might not get the true answer anyway. So speaking,
you know, kind of about this, you know, these follow-ups after the meetings, you know, that we have with our team, you know, as we start to really get into trade show season, a lot of events happen afterwards. They happen before, whatever. You know, good happy hours to go to, where you can continue the conversation, you can team build, you can get to know someone that you saw on the floor, to continue a conversation about whatever. Have you found that pretty beneficial over the years? Because I know you and I have been doing this for a long time.
I find after the show is quite often better than the show, or equal to it, rarely worse, except for the calorie intake. That's my only concern. But like tomorrow, we have the West Palm Beach trade show. I always call it the West Palm Beach. It's the Palm Beach, at the Palm Beach Expo Center in West Palm Beach. And afterwards at El Camino at 700 South Rosemary Drive, within walking distance on the second floor, we're going to have our second annual happy hour following the show. It's going to start, well, when the show ends. The show ends officially at 3. I usually try not to tear down until 3. If the place is dead before that, you'll see everybody packing up. We'll pack up, we'll head over to El Camino. The way I like to do it, and the way our group does it, and you became a part of that group a year and a half ago when we did it out in Plantation after an event.
Yep.
The Broward Show. We just let everybody know, hey, this is where we're going. Everybody pays their own way. And if a board member or a property manager or a property management executive, whoever shows up, we're covering them. We all have, expense accounts. but we don't do some organized event. We just invite people. We've had a lot of people show up at these things. It's a lot of fun. But it's a great way to casually engage about what you do. And you also talk about your families and all that stuff. And you really get to, I like getting to know people on a personal level. I love making connections. And I was at a birthday party for our future CFO. She turned 1 on Saturday, and I was holding babies all day, and it was a blast. We had 50 some people in a backyard of a nice house over in, I forget the town he lives in. If I go west of 95, I kind of start losing.
Oh, that's he lives in Mar-a-Lago, right?
Yeah, right. That's where he lives. That's on the coast. But anyway,
Okay.
but and I met a bunch of people. Some people came down from New York for the birthday party, and this one guy, Anthony. Hey, Anthony. Anthony has, and I should know the name. He says, I guess it's his family business. They're in the olive oil business, and they have plants, like olive plants in Croatia, I guess, in Italy, and in the US. And they have this great business going since, like, I don't know, 2002 or 92 or something like that. But he comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, I know who you are because I see you on LinkedIn and on Instagram," which I thought was pretty cool. A super, super nice guy. And from what I understand, their business is very successful. Couldn't have been any nicer. Another example of somebody who is grind out, done very well, and just still a super nice guy. But yeah, so I think that, like, tomorrow at El Camino, we're gonna have a bunch of fellowship, and then that's where people get to meet you in person, sort of like in the little play I've done on LinkedIn. Get their picture and get your autograph, and they can see how tall you are. I mean, I think people are gonna be shocked because you don't look as tall.
Well, I'm also growing my hair out. I don't know if you noticed.
Well,
it's getting long.
It is getting. Yeah, what's up with that? It's a new look.
I know.
I don't like the lighting because it makes me look like I'm losing. That's only on camera. It doesn't. I don't think it looks like that in person.
No, it doesn't. But you might want to get that. What's that spray-on formula that Ron Pompei guy did? What was that called? That hair club for Kelly, or what the hell was that called?
Hey, I was selling Mercedes, Porsches, Land Rovers, and Audis in Tyson's Corner, a place called HBL. Right now, it's owned by the racing team. But anyway, we met the president of the hair club for men. The actual guy was in there buying a car with his wife.
Wow, was he? Did he have a piece on, dude?
Okay, his wife was very friendly to all of us. That's all I'm going to say. It was very awkward. She was, first you got this attractive woman and she's kind of flirtatious, like, "Hey, I'm somebody." Well, when you find out that she's flirted with like 10 guys in the past hour, it was weird. It was really weird. But his hair was really, it did not look natural whatsoever. He looked really bizarre. But she liked the money that he had. She was, I guess, what we call a Boca girl down here.
Well, that's a Bonka girl?
A Boca girl.
A Boca? Okay, I thought, all right, yeah.
Every girl that lives in Boca is really mad at me right now, but they know what it is. And if you're not one, if you're from Boca, unless you are.
I've been to Meisner Park. Okay. I know.
A great place to eat.
It's great down there. Is that where a lot of the Bonka girls go?
Have you ever been to Huey Magoo's there? That's one of today's sponsors.
No, but I will now.
And also another one of today's sponsors is Rock and Wellness.
Rock and Wellness.
Like the last 12 years. Just go to rockandwellness.com.
Who else?
Just to completely go off the subject. Over at Callaway, I went over there. They're one of our sponsors. And I got a set of clubs from them this summer. They were gracious enough to supply me with a set of clubs, being a sponsor of the show. And
right.
So it's Callaway. Everybody knows the Callaway emblem, right? So I have Callaway pants. I mean, they're great sponsors. So a couple weeks ago, I started using, this is my 3-wood. I thought it was my hybrid. But anyway, I started using both those clubs because I haven't pulled them out of the bag. Man, it's really making a difference in my game. So thanks, Callaway. Work it into the conversation. We do appreciate all
love it.
our sponsors. We also have M2E, who's sponsoring tomorrow because we have no sponsors for the event tomorrow. And WRG is also sponsoring the happy hour tomorrow, along with the Paving Lady. What's the landscape company? Yellowstone.
Juniper?
Yellowstone.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
not
okay. Oh, all right.
no editing. Yellowstone. Which isn't that
Okay.
also a big TV show?
I think it is. I think that's with Kevin Costner or whatever, Costner. Yep.
Kevin Costner. Kevin Cantor is what I call him.
Right.
I'm not a fan. He's not my cup of tea for acting.
Okay.
He always seems like he's asleep.
Dude, Seaman, No Way Out. That was like in the mid 90s when he was that Soviet spy, that midshipman called No Way Out. Have you ever seen that movie?
If I did, it was that unmemorable.
Dude, it's one of the best movies you will ever see. It's Kevin Costner's best movie, but again, one of the best movies you will ever see. No Way Out. Look at it, watch it. It's that good.
Did you see Hustle with Adam Sandler?
Probably. I can't remember. I think I've seen all his
It's
movies.
a new movie. It's only been out for like 9 months.
No, I
With
haven't. You told me
with
about
Queen
that.
Latifah. You still haven't seen it. I'm telling you.
No.
At LGC, we loved it. It really is, Adam
Okay.
Sandler's mother and mother-in-law one lives within walking distance of me and one lives within a scooter ride of me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And a lot
Very
of people
cool.
I know have run into Adam in the area. I
Okay.
haven't, but I'm probably going to be, oh, you're my favorite. It's going to be
No,
embarrassing.
just get him on the show, dude. Don't
That's
be
what
any
I'd
kind
like.
of celebrity sniffer. Just say, dude, you know what? I'm just approaching you as a guy. We're all guys here, here right now. Hey, I'd like you to come on the show. I think that you could add a little bit something, to the show. Run that by him. He could add a little bit.
So what would if he said, okay, Kelly, one of two, either we can go play 18 holes of golf or I can be on the show. Which one would I
You're saying
choose?
which one would you pick? Would you, dude, I want to do the contrarian play and say that you would actually pick golf because I think you might. That being said, I don't think that you'd miss a chance to have Sandler on there because I think our audience would appreciate that. So maybe you can put the audience, above your own selfish needs, such as being on the course.
When I stalked Eric Collin and arranged to have me be on his foursome. That's not true. We just ran into each other on the golf course. But now we've played multiple times of golf together, and he's been on the show twice. One of the few people that's ever been on the show twice. So I'm thinking if I play golf with him first, he will become so enamored with my bad sense of humor that he'd go, I've got to be on the show.
Whatever you need to do to get him on there, dude.
What would you rather have, money or power?
What would I rather have? Aren't they synonymous, money and power? How can you separate the two? What would you rather have, money?
On Instagram, there's a guy that's always walking up to people in LA. And he asks them, what do you do for a living? What do you pay for your house, your owner, rent? Who's your favorite designer? I think my favorite designer is LGC. But as a matter of fact, we use Rhino paper for all of our shirts, our safety vests, our hard hats. So a shout out to Rhino paper over in Deerfield. They're an excellent company. They supply all the restaurants, they're just a terrific company. So Jay, little shout out. We're going to have more advertisers than we're going to have minutes on the show.
Money.
So look at this. Oh, I won't do it. It'd be too crazy to show, but I was going to show you some of the products that Rhino supplied me. My new skirt, which everybody will see tomorrow for the first time at the trade show at and if you
God, you in a skirt. Oh, I can't wait to see you in a skirt.
No, it's a skirt for the
I might have to break out the Long Island tees to handle you in a skirt. Is that gonna come at the happy hour?
Although listen, it's Palm Beach, so tomorrow I may break out the pink blazer. The pink jacket.
Bring it, because if you're not gonna wear it, I will wear it. So please bring it. One of us is gonna wear the thing. Maybe we can split it up. I don't know.
I think if you wore it, you look like you're wearing your dad's jacket.
Okay. I do. I
might be a little too big for you.
Do I care what I look like?
I think it might be a little bit big for you. That's all I'm saying.
How are we doing for time? I think we're probably 15 minutes over, right?
We are 6 minutes over, but we're just having so much fun. So we had a
Okay.
guest. Unfortunately, he came down with the flu. That's why you were stuck with us again today. I apologize for that. I'm not going to tell you who it is because we don't announce who our guests are. But when we get him back on, it's you have to put your seatbelt on. The guy is full of energy, unbelievably successful person in his field. And just like everybody else, it's going to be another great guest. Today, we like to thank our guest, Wayne of Wayne's World. I'm sure you've seen his show. And Kelly. So what's tomorrow? Tomorrow, go online, Google it. Sort of like, what's that guy? What's the guy? The guy on CNN who told everybody to Google it. He's saying that women are best.
No,
between
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. Yeah. So he said
Okay.
Google it.
Okay. Perfect.
It's probably the end of his career. Not that he had much of one. But so on this one, you can actually Google it or DuckDuckGo it. It's the it's the expo. It's the HOA and Condo Expo of Palm Beach. If you look that on a search engine, it'll give you all. It'll take you to the link where you can sign up and get in tomorrow. It's no charge, I'm sure. And then of course happy hour, which will be more than one, will be at El Camino. So and most importantly, you get an opportunity to meet Wayne, all 6 foot.
Yes.
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
good. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say bye, Wayne. Yeah, look the
Okay.
right direction. Now, can you look at me now and do that? No, look at me on the screen. No, look. Oh, that was terrible.
The hell are you talking about?
Because if you're this way to me on camera on the screen, but you're this way on how people look when I did it.
Okay.
Before I've looked the wrong direction. So you did it the correct way.
Okay. Got it.
It's nonsense. Looking forward to seeing you and everybody at the show tomorrow.
Sounds good, brother.